From the outside, Victoria Adams looked like the kind of woman God took his time to create. The type of beauty that made people stare without shame. The type of elegance that made even other women whisper, wow. Skin like polished caramel. Makeup always soft, expensive, effortless. Her walk slow, confident, almost floating. Everywhere she went, cameras followed her without being asked. But what truly made Victoria a legend was not her beauty, it was her gift.
This is a circle of African tales where African wisdom lives and every story has a lesson.
Victoria Adams was the most extraordinary fashion designer Nigeria had ever seen. Not just good, unexplainably good. The kind of talent that felt otherworldly. She could turn anything into a masterpiece. Leaves. She would craft a dress that looked like a walking rainforest queen. Aluminium cans. She could fold and bend them into a silver ball gown that shimmered like 1,000 stars. Plastic bottles. She transformed them into avant-garde couture that looked like Paris Fashion Week had relocated to Lagos. Rubber, nylon, wires, fruit skins, feathers, even sheets of thin metal. Victoria would touch them and they obeyed her hands. The world called her the miracle tailor. Her academy, V's World of Fashion and Craft, was a luxury space in Victoria Island, an all-white building with gold railings, glass doors, and giant murals of her most iconic designs. Young designers from all over Africa begged to be admitted. Some even relocated just to learn under her. People didn't know how she did it. People didn't know what she was using. To the public, she was simply gifted, chosen, blessed, a fashion angel. But her mother knew something others didn't. Because Victoria wasn't born with this talent. She asked for it, and she did not ask God. Inside the academy, Victoria ruled like a soft-spoken queen. She spoke gently, smiled sweetly, dressed beautifully, and treated her students like younger siblings. They adored her. Some idolized her. Some even swore she was the reason they believed in themselves. But there was one rule Victoria enforced with a softness that almost hid the danger behind it. No student must ever try to outshine me. Not now, not in future. People laughed at it, thinking it was a joke, a playful warning. But those who disobeyed never rose again. And this is where the story becomes strange. Whenever a student began to gain prominence, maybe a viral design, an award nomination, a celebrity endorsement, something would always happen. Their sewing machines would spoil for weeks, their creativity would dry up suddenly, opportunities would disappear overnight, clients would cancel mysteriously, some even fell sick for months with no medical explanation. But everyone said, it's coincidence. Everyone except one person, Success. Success Johnson was Victoria's brightest student, beautiful, soft-spoken, and the kind of young woman whose designs carried pure innocence. She had a way of creating dresses that made people feel joy, happiness, lightness. She was the one student Victoria could not ignore, the one student with natural talent, talent not borrowed from darkness. Victoria loved her and feared her because Success had something she could never control. She had God-given talent, the kind that grows without permission. In just 2 years, Success rose faster than anyone in the academy. Influencers noticed her. Magazines contacted her. A top actress even told her, "You are the future of Nigerian fashion." And that was when Victoria began to change. Her smiles became tighter. Her compliments sounded rehearsed. Her eyes followed Success too closely. There were nights she watched the girl sew with a strange expression, half admiration, half resentment, because Victoria remembered the price she paid for her own power. The night she kneeled in front of an old woman in a forest in Ogun State. The night she offered her hair ribbon, her bracelet, and a drop of her blood. The night she begged, "Give me talent nobody can compete with." The woman accepted, but she warned, "You will shine, but no one under you must ever shine brighter. If they do, your glory will weaken." Victoria agreed without thinking, and now Success was rising, too fast, too bright, too loudly, until one day, everything stopped. Success's rapid rise ended like electricity cut off without warning. She fell into a creative drought. Opportunities dried up. She cried at night without understanding why her life suddenly paused. Her decline was so sudden that her mother dragged her to a pastor. And what the pastor said made Success faint. Someone who mentored you has tied your star. Someone whose hands you once respected is the reason your destiny is locked. Success cried, Who? Who did this to me? The pastor shook his head slowly. Think of the woman you once called your role model. Think of the person whose shadow you can never leave. The one who smiles at you, but fears you. Success gasped, because the only person who fit that description was Victoria.
Success didn't sleep that night. She lay on her bed staring at the ceiling, her heart beating too loudly, her mind refusing to settle. The pastor's words circled her head like a whisper she couldn't shut out. Someone who mentored you has tied your star. Someone whose shadow you can never leave. The one who smiles at you but fears you. It didn't make sense at first. Victoria had always seemed so calm, so supportive, so angelic. She hugged her students, she prayed with them before competitions, she gave motivational speeches about resilience and creativity. But now, Success replayed every memory with new eyes. The day Victoria saw her dress trending online and said congratulations without smiling. The day a celebrity praised Success publicly and Victoria suddenly cancelled classes for a week. The night Success won a local award and Victoria told her, Don't rush, stay humble, stay under the umbrella I gave you. Umbrella. That word felt dangerous now. By morning, Success looked exhausted, eyes swollen, wig untidy, hands trembling. Her mother insisted they pray again, but Success wasn't thinking of prayer. She was thinking of confrontation. She needed to know the truth. So she dressed up and took an Uber straight to V's world of fashion and craft. The academy was glowing as always. The building's white walls sparkled under the morning sun. Students walked in wearing bright outfits, orange, teal, pink, everything vibrant. A few waved at her with excitement. Success, you're back! Miss Victoria has been asking about you. Did you get the magazine feature? Success gave weak smiles, but her heart was sinking deeper with every step. Something felt off today. The academy felt too quiet beneath the noise, too heavy beneath the beauty. When she reached the top floor, Victoria's office door was open, and there she was, Victoria Adams, sitting quietly at her gold desk as if she had no single worry in the world. Success stood in the doorway, staring at her. Victoria looked up slowly and smiled. Success, my brightest student, why do you look so troubled? Her voice was soft, warm, silky, but Success felt her stomach twist. For the first time ever, she saw something else behind Victoria's eyes, something cold, something calculating, something ancient. Success stepped inside. I need to ask you something, she whispered. Victoria nodded, still smiling. Anything, dear. Success swallowed hard. Did you do something to me? Victoria froze. Not fully, but enough. Her smile faltered for 1 second, then returned even softer. What do you mean by that? You know what I mean, Success said, voice shaking. My life was going well. Everything was rising. Everything was working. Then suddenly everything stopped. My ideas vanished. My opportunities disappeared. I've been struggling for months and I went to see a pastor. Victoria's eyes darkened. A pastor, she repeated calmly. Why? Success inhaled shakily. He said someone tied my destiny. Silence. Heavy, thick silence. Then Victoria leaned back in her chair slowly, too gracefully. And you think I would do such a thing to you? Success's voice cracked. I don't want to believe it. You are like a sister to me, a mentor. But ever since you saw I was rising, you changed. Victoria didn't blink. You think I don't want you to succeed? I think you don't want anyone to be higher than you. The room grew colder. The air felt heavier, like something unseen had entered with them. Victoria looked at her for a long moment, then she stood up. And when she walked around the desk, her movement was different, slower, darker, almost like she was carrying something inside her that didn't belong to any normal human. She stopped right in front of Success. Her perfume filled the space, rich, sweet, intoxicating. Her eyes were sharp enough to cut glass. Success, she whispered, do you know what it takes to shine the way I shine? Success stepped back. Victoria followed her with one step. Do you know what I had to do to become the woman everyone worships? Success shook her head, whispering, Victoria, please. But Victoria wasn't listening anymore. Her voice dropped lower, almost echoing. Greatness has a price you will never understand, a price you are too innocent to pay. She raised her hand and touched Success's cheek gently, too gently. You are rising too fast, faster than you are prepared for, faster than destiny intended. I only slowed you down for your own good. Success's heart almost stopped. So, you did something to me? Victoria smiled again, a slow, terrifying smile. Everything in this world must have balance, she whispered. There cannot be two suns in one sky. Success stepped away, trembling. Victoria, you are hurting me. I saved you, Victoria corrected. If you rose too quickly, you would have burnt out, or worse, you would have dimmed me. Success felt tears rolling down her face. You tied my success because of your ego. Victoria laughed softly. Not ego, survival. She walked back to her desk with the grace of a queen returning to her throne. You will rise when I allow it, not before. Success stared at her as if seeing a ghost. As she turned to leave, Victoria called her name one last time, soft, sweet, and deadly. Success? Success stopped. Don't fight me, Victoria whispered. You will only lose. And in her voice, Success heard something she couldn't describe. A shadow, a warning, a spirit speaking through a human mouth. Success ran out of the office in tears. And that was the day she realized Victoria Adams was no ordinary designer. She was something else entirely.
Success did not remember how she got down the stairs. She didn't remember passing the students. She didn't remember stepping out of the academy building. All she remembered was running until her chest burned, until her legs felt weak, until the Lagos sun blinded her through her tears. Victoria's words rang in her head like thunder. There cannot be two suns in one sky. You will rise when I allow it. Don't fight me. You will only lose. It didn't sound like a mentor speaking. It didn't sound like a friend. It didn't even sound human. It sounded ancient, dark, powerful, claiming. Success finally stopped at the bus stop, breathless, shaking. She felt watched, not from the people passing by, not from cars, not from buildings, watched by something she couldn't name. She grabbed a bolt ride home, and during the drive she noticed something strange. The radio kept switching stations by itself. The driver kept frowning. Madam, this radio they do like spirit, he muttered, tapping it. Success squeezed her hands nervously. Was it a coincidence? Or was Victoria already following her? Or something else entirely? When she finally reached home, her mother was waiting at the door, worried. You look pale. What happened? Did you confront her? Success burst into tears. She sat on the couch and told her mother everything. The confrontation, the confession, the way Victoria spoke, the way the room felt cold. Her mother listened silently, her expression tightening with every word. Then she said something that made Success freeze. Success, when you started working with Victoria, I had a dream. Success looked up slowly. What dream? Her mother swallowed hard. I saw her standing over your head, sewing something invisible into your shadow. Success's mouth dropped open. Why didn't you tell me? Because it sounded foolish at the time, her mother whispered. I didn't want to discourage you. I thought it was stress. Success felt sick to her stomach. And in the dream, her mother continued, voice shaking. She looked at me and said, this one belongs to me. Success jumped to her feet, trembling violently. Mom, why didn't you tell me? I didn't want to worry you. You loved that academy. You were happy. Success paced the living room with her hands on her head. No, no, this is not happening. This cannot be real. But deep inside, she knew it was real. Her instincts knew. Her spirit knew. Her dreams over the past few months knew. All those nights she dreamt of threads wrapping around her feet. All those mornings she woke up exhausted. All those times she felt watched in the studio. It all made sense now. Victoria's talent wasn't natural. Her success wasn't normal. Her academy wasn't ordinary. She crafted dresses from leaves, metal, iron, rubber, plastic, things other designers could never work with. People praised her as a prodigy. But behind the praise, there was a secret, a spiritual contract, a power that demanded a price. And that price was simple. Anyone she mentored would never rise above her, ever. Success broke down again. Mom, what do? I can't stay under her shadow. She told me I will never succeed unless she allows it. What do I do? Her mother placed her hand on her back. There is only one thing you can do. You must break the attachment between you and Victoria. Whatever she has tied must be untied. Success wiped her tears. How? Her mother hesitated, looked around the room like she was afraid something was listening, then whispered, "There is a prophet my sister once told me about. He has dealt with cases worse than this, and he does not fear people like Victoria." Success swallowed. "People like Victoria," she repeated. "Yes, those who receive their gifts from places they should never visit. Those who pay a price for glory. Those who shine too brightly to be ordinary." Success inhaled shakily. "I want to see him today." Her mother nodded quickly, already reaching for her bag, but just then, the lights in the living room flickered. Once, twice, 3 times. Then the entire room went silent. Too silent. Success froze. Her mother froze. Something was in the house. Not a sound, not a movement, but a presence. They held their breath. Then a soft noise came from the back of the house. Tick, 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 like metal touching tile. Success looked toward the hallway. Her heart stopped. Her sewing machine, the one she used for practice, was switching on by itself. The pedal pressed down with invisible force. The needle moved up and down rapidly, sewing nothing, stitching nothing, but making the sound of someone walking angrily. Success screamed. Her mother grabbed her hand. "Success, pack your bag, now!" Success didn't argue. Something was following her. Something wanted to remind her of the warning. Victoria said, "Do not fight me. You will only lose." But Success was no longer a naive student. She was scared, but she was also angry. And something inside her whispered, "Maybe Victoria is powerful, but she is not God." That night, Success and her mother left the house and headed for the prophet. And what they discovered next was more terrifying than anything Victoria had confessed. By the time Success and her mother reached the prophet's compound, the sun had already set. The sky was a deep orange fading into purple, and the streetlights flickered on one by one, casting long shadows across the quiet neighborhood. The compound itself was nothing extraordinary. A modest, clean place with potted plants, a small waiting area, and a wooden sign that simply read, "The Lighthouse." No loud voices, no dramatic prayers, just silence, the kind that made your spirit feel bare. A young assistant opened the gate. "Are you here to see Prophet Daniel?" Success nodded nervously. "Yes, please. It's urgent." He studied her face for a moment, as if he recognized the weight she carried. "The prophet has been expecting you," he said quietly. Success's heart jumped. "Expecting me?" she whispered. He nodded. "Follow me." They were led into a room softly lit with golden lamps. No candles, no smoke, no intimidating symbols, just calmness. Prophet Daniel stood by the window when they entered. A tall man, elegant, clean-shaven, dressed in a simple white kaftan that somehow looked more expensive than any designer outfit. He turned slowly. "Success," he said, calling her name the way someone calls a child who has been lost for too long. I wondered how long it would take before you came. Her mother gasped softly. Success froze. You know my name? He smiled gently. I have seen your shadow many times. Her stomach tightened. Prophet, something is wrong with me. Something is following me. My career, my mind, my dreams, everything has stopped. Please help me. Prophet Daniel's eyes softened with pity. Sit, he said. There is much you do not understand. Success sat, trembling. The prophet moved closer, his expression growing more serious. You worked under a woman named Victoria, correct? Success nodded. She is not just a fashion designer, he continued, pacing slowly. She is a vessel, a carrier, someone who draws her power from a spiritual thread that does not come from God. Success's throat tightened. I knew it, she whispered. Her mother squeezed her hand. Prophet Daniel continued. Victoria's success did not come naturally. She was given a spiritual gift in exchange for something. Her hands were blessed with unlimited creativity, the ability to sew anything, craft anything, transform anything. That gift attracts wealth, fame, global recognition. Success swallowed, remembering Victoria crafting metal dresses, nylon gowns, dresses made out of bottles and fruits that looked like they belonged on international runways. But every gift from darkness, the prophet said, has a price, and Victoria's price is one of the worst I have seen. Success leaned forward, terrified. What price? Prophet Daniel stopped walking. He looked her directly in the eyes. She can rise, only if no one under her ever rises. Success felt the room tilt. She said that to me, Success whispered. She said there cannot be two suns in one sky. Yes, the prophet said softly, because her agreement requires that anyone she trains must never outshine her. Every time a student begins to rise, her power suppresses them, steals their shine, dims their destiny. Success covered her mouth as tears rushed down her face. So, she tied my destiny? The prophet nodded once. You are bound to her through your shadow. That is why your gifts were blocked. That is why your work became invisible. That is why your opportunities dried up. She stitched something spiritual into you, something invisible. Success sobbed into her palms. Her mother cried quietly beside her. Prophet Daniel walked closer. But Success, your case is rare. She looked up confused. Rare? How? The prophet took a deep breath. Victoria fears you. Success blinked. Me? Why? She is powerful, wealthy, connected. Why fear me? Prophet Daniel smiled faintly, but it wasn't a smile of joy. It was a smile of someone who had seen battles most people would never understand. Because her spirit recognizes what your spirit does not yet know, he said quietly. You are meant to surpass her, even without her training, even without her academy, even without her approval. Success stared at him, stunned. You carry a generational gift, the prophet said. Your talent comes from your bloodline, not from any teacher or mentor. You are meant to build something bigger than V's world of fashion. She knew this the moment she touched your first design. That is why she tied you quickly, silently. Success's tears slowed. She felt every word sinking into her bones. Prophet Daniel stepped back and folded his arms. But Success, breaking this kind of bond is not simple. Success's breath caught in her chest. What do I have to do? He hesitated. Are you sure you want the truth now? Once you hear it, your life cannot return to normal. Success wiped her face, lifted her chin, and nodded. Yes, I need to be free. The prophet exhaled deeply. To break the tie, you must confront Victoria again. Success's blood ran cold. Her mother gasped loudly. No! Prophet, she cannot go back there. That woman is dangerous. Prophet Daniel raised his hand calmly. She will not go to fight her physically. She will go to reclaim her shadow. Success swallowed hard. My shadow? The prophet nodded. Yes, Victoria has your shadow. That is what gives her control. And unless you retrieve it, your destiny will never belong to you again. Success trembled. So, how do I take it back? Prophet Daniel lifted his eyes slowly, and for the first time since she entered the room, there was real fear in his expression. You must enter her studio at night alone. Success's heart dropped. And whatever happens, he continued, you must not speak to her. You must not answer her voice, and you must not touch her. Success felt dizzy. Her mother clung to her. Prophet, please, this is too dangerous. He nodded calmly. Yes, it is dangerous, very dangerous, but it is the only way. Success's voice shook. And if I fail, the prophet looked at her with sorrow. If you fail, then the life you are living now, the one filled with frustration, stagnation, and silence, will be the best version of your life you will ever have. Success felt something inside her shift, something fierce, something determined. I will go, she whispered. I want my destiny back. Her mother cried harder. Prophet Daniel put a gentle hand on Success's shoulder. Then prepare yourself, he said quietly, because what waits for you in that studio is not the Victoria you knew.
Success did not sleep that night. She sat on her bed, staring at the sketches pinned to her wall, designs she once thought would change her life, designs she was now afraid to even touch. She kept hearing Prophet Daniel's words over and over. Victoria has your shadow, and unless you retrieve it, your destiny will never belong to you again. Her mother paced back and forth in the room, too frightened to sit still. Success, please, think about this, she whispered. That woman is not normal. She is not ordinary. I don't want to lose you. Success looked up, wiping her face. Mommy, I've already lost everything. My talent, my career, my voice, my future, all because of her. If I don't do this, I will remain stuck forever. Her mother held her hands tightly, tears filling her eyes. Then let me come with you. Success shook her head. No, Prophet Daniel said I must go alone. Her mother collapsed into a chair, burying her face in her palms. What kind of evil woman is this? What kind of mentor steals a student's destiny? Success stood slowly, picked up her bag and whispered, the kind who is afraid of what that student will become. Her mother watched her walk to the door, watched her pause for a moment, watched her inhale deeply before stepping outside into the cold night. And as the door closed, her mother whispered a prayer that trembled through her entire body. Victoria's studio, V's world of fashion and craft, sat quietly at the edge of Victoria Island, a tall glass building glowing faintly in the darkness. During the day, it looked like a palace. At night, it looked like something else entirely. Success stopped at the gate. Her heart thudded so loudly she felt it in her teeth. This was the place where her dreams had lived. This was the place where they had died. And tonight, this was the place where she would fight for them. She pushed the gate gently. It wasn't locked. That alone made her skin crawl. Success walked into the compound, the air colder than outside, as if the walls held secrets that froze the space around them. She reached the main door, also open. She stepped inside slowly. The lights were off, but the moonlight streaming through the large glass windows created long shadows across the floor. Success whispered to herself, "Don't be afraid. Just take back what is yours." She moved deeper into the studio, passing the mannequins dressed in Victoria's extraordinary creations, dresses made of metal plates, bottle caps, shimmering feathers, rubber mesh, even one made entirely of tiny light bulbs. But tonight, the mannequins didn't look beautiful. They looked alive, watching her, judging her, daring her to walk further. Success kept her eyes forward, refusing to let fear grip her. She reached the central sewing room, the heart of the studio.
The room was exactly how she remembered. Large cutting tables, shelves filled with fabrics, industrial sewing machines lined neatly in rows. But something was wrong. Very wrong. Victoria's chair, the high black leather one she always sat on, was facing the wall instead of the table. Success froze. Her breath caught in her chest. Prophet Daniel said she wouldn't be here. She shouldn't be here, she whispered. But the chair slowly turned, and Victoria's voice, soft, elegant, and too calm for this moment, drifted across the room. I knew you would come back. Success's legs nearly gave out. Victoria sat there in a flowing midnight blue silk robe, her long wig cascading like water down her back. Her face was half hidden in the shadows, but her smile was too bright, too knowing, too dangerous. "Hello, Success," she whispered. Success squeezed her fists, remembering Prophet Daniel's warning. Do not speak to her. Do not answer her voice. Do not touch her. Victoria rose slowly from the chair. "Why are you quiet?" she asked, taking a slow step forward. "You used to talk so much, always asking questions, always eager to learn, always so hungry." Success stepped back. Victoria's smile widened. "Oh, Prophet Daniel sent you here, didn't he?" Success felt her heart stop. "How predictable," Victoria murmured. "Pastors love to meddle in business that is bigger than them." She took another step. "Tell me, Success, did he tell you I was evil? That I stole your destiny? That I feared you?" She chuckled softly. "Child, I didn't fear you. I admired you. You are my brightest student, the only one with a gift that could threaten me." Success swallowed hard, keeping her lips sealed. Victoria tilted her head. "Oh, don't pretend you are brave. You are shaking. I can see it." Success forced her feet forward, ignoring the tremor in her hands. She walked past Victoria without looking at her and headed toward the design room. Victoria didn't stop her. She just laughed quietly, a small, chilling laugh that echoed through the entire studio. "You're looking for your shadow, aren't you?" Success froze. Victoria's voice dropped an octave. "Do you even know what it looks like?" Success kept her moving, refusing to acknowledge her. She entered the design room, a place she used to love, a place that now felt like a trap. And then she saw it. A long wall of framed sketches, but these weren't normal sketches. They were shadows, faint, dark impressions behind glass. Some long, some short, some twisted, some shaped like human silhouettes. Her heartbeat roared in her ears. Success stepped closer. One of them, the smallest frame, flickered faintly as if alive, and she knew instantly that one was hers. She reached for it, but before her fingers could touch the glass, Victoria's voice drifted in again, closer now, colder now, hungrier now. "Go on," she whispered. "Take it." Success froze. Victoria stood behind her, too close, too silent. "I want to watch what happens." Success's stomach dropped. She had no idea what Victoria meant, but she didn't have time to figure it out. She lifted her hand again. Victoria leaned in. "Just remember," she whispered softly, "whatever you take back also wakes up." Success snatched the frame. The glass cracked instantly. The lights in the studio flickered violently. A cold wind burst through the room. Victoria screamed, a high, piercing sound that was not human. Success staggered backward as the shadow inside the frame began to swirl, stretch, rising like smoke, forming a shape. And suddenly, everything went dark, black, silent, cold. Success felt something grab her waist. She didn't know if it was the shadow, Victoria, or something far worse. Her heart slammed against her ribs. And then, a whisper right beside her ear. 3 soft, haunting words. "You woke it." For a moment, Success could not breathe. She couldn't think. She couldn't even scream. Everything around her was black. Not the kind of darkness you see when lights go out, but a thick, living darkness. Like something was pressing against her skin, her eyes, her bones. The grip on her wrist tightened. Cold, sharp, hungry. She yanked her hand back instinctively, stumbling away from the swelling shadow. Her back hit the wall hard. The cracked frame fell to the floor beside her with a sharp clatter, but she didn't dare look down because the shadow was taking shape, slowly, quietly, like smoke turning into a human outline. Success pressed her palm over her mouth, her breath trembling. The shadow lifted its head, or something like a head, and even in the darkness, she could feel it turn toward her, not with eyes, but with awareness. It knew her. It recognized her. Victoria's voice sliced through the darkness. "Ah, look at you," she whispered. "Finally awake." Her tone was not angry. It was admiring, proud, even excited. Success managed to whisper, What is that?" Victoria stepped closer, her robe dragging on the floor like water. "That," she said softly, "is what you left behind the day you walked away from me." The shadow tilted its head, mimicking Victoria's movement. "It is your ambition, your hunger, your fire, your gift in its rawest form." Success shook her head violently. No, that thing is not me." Victoria smiled in the dark. "Not anymore, not after I claimed it. But originally," she leaned forward, "it belonged to you." The shadow lunged forward suddenly, not touching Success, but spreading out like fog, surrounding her legs, creeping up the walls, filling the room with a cold that stabbed her skin. Success screamed. Victoria didn't flinch. "Don't worry," she whispered. "It won't hurt you. It is simply bonding." Success stumbled back, tears streaming. "You stole my destiny," she cried. "You made sure none of your students could rise above you." Victoria lifted her chin proudly. "Of course! Why would I train competition? Why would I raise queens who would dethrone me? Everything has a price, Success. Everything." "The pastor said," Victoria hissed sharply, "Don't say his name here." The entire studio vibrated with a low rumble, as if the walls were warning them. The shadow pulsed in response, growing, shrinking, stretching against the walls. Success forced the words out. "I want my destiny back." Victoria laughed, a soft, mocking sound. "Do you think it's that easy? You walk it, but can you control it?" The shadow suddenly shot upward, slamming into the ceiling, forming a large figure, a woman-shaped outline taller than any human, moving like it had limbs made of smoke and lightning. Success dropped to the floor, covering her head. Victoria whispered, "Tell it to return." Success shook her head. "I don't know how." "You do," Victoria said calmly. "Every gifted child does, but most never learn because no one tells them how. I only took advantage of that." The shadow twisted violently, its formless mouth stretching open in a soundless scream. The lights flickered like crazy. Success forced herself to stand, weakly, shaking, but standing. What do I do?" Victoria stepped back into the darkness, her face glowing faintly, as if lit from within. "Call your name, the name you carried when you still had your power." Success frowned. "What name?" Victoria smiled. "Not Success. That's the name the world gave you. I mean the name your gift knew." The room shook again. The shadow lunged. Success screamed and ducked, but it stopped inches away from her face, its cold presence pressing against her skin like frozen breath. "Call it," Victoria said sharply, "before it claims you instead." Success's heart thundered. Her mind raced. A name suddenly flashed into her thoughts. A name she never used publicly. A name her mother used to call her when she was a baby, before she ever entered fashion school. A name tied to innocence. A name tied to purpose. A name tied to who she was before the world touched her. Success whispered it once. Nothing happened. Victoria hissed urgently. "Say it with your chest, girl." The shadow roared. Success gasped for air and screamed the name, Ariel! Everything froze. The room, the shadow, Victoria, even the air. The shadow shrank instantly, collapsing into itself, twisting, trembling, then rushed towards Success like wind being sucked into a vacuum. Success staggered backward as the cold swirled around her body, wrapping itself around her spine, her chest, her arms, her throat. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't move. All she heard was a whisper inside her skull, I am yours. And then a violent burst of white light exploded from her body. Victoria screamed. The studio shook. The mannequins fell. The lights shattered above them. The entire room filled with a blinding, burning brightness that forced Success to close her eyes. When the light finally faded, Success was standing alone, breathing heavily, shaking violently. And Victoria? Victoria was on her knees, gasping, terrified, staring at Success like she had just seen a god descend into the room. Her voice trembled. Impossible! You actually merged with it! Success stared at her, still panting. What does that mean? Victoria lifted her trembling hand, pointing at her. It means, she whispered, your destiny is stronger than mine. Success didn't smile. She didn't speak. She simply turned around and walked out of the studio, each step steady, powerful, controlled, like someone who had just pulled her future out of the claws of darkness. Behind her, Victoria let out a soft, broken cry, because for the first time in her life, she was afraid, truly afraid. Success had become something she could never defeat, something she could never stop, something she unknowingly created. And the fashion world was about to feel a shift it had never seen before. Success walked out of the room that night, feeling lighter than she had felt in years. It was as if someone had finally lifted the invisible weight she never knew she had been carrying on her shoulders. She didn't cry, she didn't tremble, she didn't doubt. She simply breathed, and it felt like her first real breath in a long time. That night, she slept deeply, peacefully. No nightmares, no shadows, no haunting visions of Victoria watching her from the corners of her dreams. Just silence, just rest, just warmth. But peace doesn't always mean the battle is finished. Sometimes, peace is the soft warning before the real shaking begins. The next morning, Success woke up with a clarity she had never experienced. She called her assistant, Maya, and said something she herself couldn't believe she was saying. I'm rebranding everything. I want to start fresh. Maya gasped. Everything? Are you sure? Success smiled, and for the first time in months, the smile reached her eyes. Yes, because these ideas in my head, I can feel they're finally mine. She didn't know she had just triggered something miles away, but Victoria felt it. Inside her luxury office in V's world of fashion and craft, Victoria sat before her sewing machine ready to begin a new masterpiece. She picked up her needle, but her hand trembled. The needle snapped, the machine jammed, the lights above her flickered. Her mannequin, the tall one she used for rituals, slowly tilted to the left as if bowing away from her. Victoria stood, confused and irritated. What is this nonsense? She rushed to her enchanted mirror, the mirror she used to monitor the destinies of her students. She expected to see Success fading, struggling, losing her light. But instead, the mirror showed Success glowing, rising, strength returning, destiny unfolding. Victoria gasped. No, she broke it. How? Fear gripped her for the first time in her life. Not fear of competition, fear of consequences. Her power wasn't natural, it was borrowed. And the spiritual debt she thought she had paid years ago was coming back to claim what was owed. Meanwhile, Success was becoming a new woman. Her designs poured out of her like water. Her creativity exploded in all directions. She crafted dresses that blended metal and silk. She shaped fabrics as if they were alive. She molded materials nobody dared touch into runway art. Her entire workshop buzzed with energy. Her staff whispered, "She's back. She's really back." And social media caught on quickly. Fashion blogs started writing, "Success is the next global icon. Innovative, bold, fearless. Has Nigeria just discovered a future Balmain?" Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Influencers wanted her outfits. Celebrities wanted fittings. Editors wanted interviews. Her star wasn't rising, it was exploding. And with every rise, Victoria fell deeper. Clients began cancelling orders. Students withdrew from her academy. Her once powerful charm no longer worked. Her mannequins fell on their own. Her machine stopped responding. Her mirror turned black. She tried rituals. She tried chanting. She tried calling the spirit she made a pact with. But the candles blew out on their own. A voice whispered in the room, "The one you chained is free." Victoria screamed, but the darkness didn't care. Its deal had expired. Her time was up. Success, unaware of the spiritual battle happening behind her, focused only on her comeback. Her relaunch fashion show sold out in minutes. Seats were booked by Lagos elites, celebrities, journalists, and even international scouts. And the night of her grand relaunch came, a night that would change everything. Success stood backstage. Staff ran around adjusting lights, steaming fabrics, prepping models. Every part of her show screamed brilliance. As she took a deep breath, ready to step into her destiny, the backstage door opened. Victoria walked in. Her once flawless makeup smudged, her wig slightly displaced, her eyes hollow and trembling. "Success," she whispered, voice thin and unstable. "We need to talk." Success stood still, calm but unshaking. There was a long moment of silence between them, a silence that held years of secrets, pain, betrayal, and envy. Victoria swallowed hard. "I didn't mean for things to go this far," she said finally. "I just didn't want anyone to be better than me." Success didn't flinch. She didn't lash out. She didn't shout. She simply said, "You could have been a legend, Victoria, but you chose fear over greatness." Victoria's eyes watered, not from regret, but from something colder, something like realization. Success stepped closer. "It's over," she said softly. "Whatever power you used, it no longer controls me and it no longer protects you." Victoria's lips trembled. For the first time ever, she looked small, human, breakable. But Success wasn't cruel. She didn't insult her. She didn't embarrass her. She simply turned away and signaled her team, "Start the show." And just like that, Success stepped onto the runway of her new life, leaving Victoria standing in the shadows of consequences she created for herself. Success's show was the greatest of the season, a masterpiece, a rebirth, a victory. Her name trended for weeks, her designs went viral, her academy applications doubled, her fame soared beyond Nigeria. She had become everything she was meant to be, everything Victoria tried to bury, everything destiny had reserved for her. And the entire fashion world whispered one thing: this is success lesson. This is the truth buried in this modern folktale. When you block someone's destiny out of envy, you don't rise, you fall. When you fight someone God is lifting, you don't win, you destroy yourself. When you make deals to stay on top, you may shine for a while, but borrowed light always burns out. And when someone's time comes, truly comes, no power, no person, no darkness can stop them.
If you were Success, would you forgive Victoria or avoid her forever? Should people be careful who they learn skills from? Do you think Success's rise was purely spiritual or her natural talent breaking free? Should Victoria be punished or was losing her power enough? Have you ever felt held back by someone you trusted?
Every story carries a lesson, and if this one touched you in any way, let it guide your heart and inspire your journey. I hope you enjoyed this African folktale. If you did, please subscribe to this channel for more amazing, life-changing stories. Don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. And if you want more, the next story is already waiting for you on your screen. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. See you in the next video.